Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays with Sandy. That would be Sandy Kreisberg, the founder of HBSguru.com and the
Shalom, everybody. Happy
incredible reader
Easter,
of tea leaves
etc.
at Harvard Business School. I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants, and we have with us a Brazilian today who is targeting some of the best business schools in the world for his MBA, including Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, Sloan, Columbia, Kellogg, NCOD, and London Business School. Gustavo has a 750 GMAT, so that makes people stand up straight. A 3.5 from Vanderbilt in political science. Clearly, he's a poet. He was on full scholarship at Vanderbilt, which is a big deal. In the 5 years since he's graduated, he has been at 4 different companies, including Mercedes-Benz in Brazil. He's currently a customer success manager at Zendesk, a New York Stock Exchange listed customer service firm. So, what do you think?
You got a lot going for you. Say hi to everybody, Gustavo.
Hey, everyone. Really nice to be here.
Good. And pretend this is your Harvard Business School interview, and they said, briefly introduce yourself. Let's see if you could do that.
All right, on the spot. Okay. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Gustavo Arocha. I currently work at Zendesk, which is a B2B CRM platform. We're traded on the New York Exchange. We just made $1 billion in revenue last year. And yeah.
Where'd you go to college? And what'd you do after that? That was an acceptable introduction since you hit the high point.
I went to Vanderbilt for college. I got to Vandy on a full scholarship. After Vanderbilt, I started working for a education startup in Florida, Study Edge. With the whole visa situation, I had to go back to Brazil. That's when I started working at Mercedes-Benz. For a while, after doing an associate position rotational program where I got to work in Germany, India, and in a couple of other European countries, I decided that a change of pace was in order. So I joined a startup, one of the biggest Brazilian unicorns at the time, actually, Quinto Andar, which is a house tech company. And last year, I got started at Zendesk. House tech?
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, health tech. I'm sorry.
Sorry, house tech, as in the housing industry. Trying to make sales.
Explain that to your classmates.
Well, the goal of Quinto Andar is basically to make sales, purchasing, and renting easier for both renters and so the idea is to have a platform where that is just made easier for everyone and safer too.
Yeah, John, what's a better name for that?
Ooh, boy.
House tech doesn't do it. Is that the term of art?
Well, you might want to say smart tech for housing.
You don't have to show off when you describe something. That's a mistake people make. You just have to be clear. You go, we're kind of the back office for the housing business, so we help organize rentals, sales, and listings. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, I'm voting with me. Good. Okay, so that's a good gig. And then you've also got another component to your story in that you're co-founded a nonprofit. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, during the pandemic, basically my friend and we got together and we decided to start helping people on a bigger platform. We've always been helping our friends with resumes, interview prep, career prep in a way. So we decided to just reach a higher platform. So that's when we launched Carreira Sem Frescuras, which is in a way the Brazilian poets and quants. And the idea is just to actually help people.
Okay, so let's summarize here. We got a guy from Brazil. That's good. Brazil is a good place to come from. As John pointed out, they don't get many applications from there. Every business school is always trying to plant another flag on the wall. And so that's a big plus. 750 GMAT speaks for itself. That answers a lot of questions. Vanderbilt, excellent place to go. 3.5, I'm calling that on the, you said it wasn't Latin honors of any kind, so it wasn't summa magna, or even, it wasn't cum laude.
No, no.
Yeah, so I'm calling that a boo-boo in that would be below the GPA for most of your target schools. Is there some way for you to explain that?
Yeah, going to Vanderbilt for college was the first time I had ever left Brazil, and I went by myself to no family in the US.
The grades go up.
They stayed in that way. I was extremely involved on campus too, and I decided to make my college experience not only about academics, but also about the community. I was involved in multiple leadership positions within Vanderbilt.
Good.
And
good. Okay, so the explanation is had a hard time. I had a hard time balancing many roles, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, John, do you say you regret not getting better grades?
You always say that.
Always, yes. Even though so don't say, hey, buddy, I was doing a lot of things. I had a lot of leadership experiences. So who cares about your stinking GPA? You always apologize for it.
Gotcha.
You go, I made a mistake in allocating my resources. I should have been able to manage my time better and get a GPA. I am so sorry. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life. That's the way you play that. All right.
Gotcha.
Even though it's not, you know, I mean, it's all set by a 750 GMAT, and it's not horribly low. It's 355. You can round it up to 3.6.
Yeah, good point. You've had a lot of internships. You come from Brazil. Whew. Harvard Business School.
Well, you know, before we get there, hey, Sandy, you had some comments to make on his resume. And let me just say, you know, it's a very creatively put together resume. And in a way, it doesn't do the job it needs to do. I mean, it looks beautiful. Let me just tell you. I mean, I like the way it looks.
Can we get?
But it's not working for you. And here's why it's not working for you. You know, you put your nonprofit first.
Let me say something. This is his resume, okay? He's got this sidebar here with places in the world that he's worked, and I'm a storyteller, and some normal stuff over here in the wrong order. So it's a kind of a beautiful document if you don't read English. Let me give you some resume advice, folks. Submit a standard flippin' resume. And I hope everybody knows what that is. Another oddly annoying thing about this resume, there's no place to write on it. In other words, when people review resumes, they make notes to themselves. And I was stuck like scribbling between the lines here. That would, you know, an admissions officer sitting alone in her office would never admit this, but that would piss people off. It pissed me off. Just having
you don't have to go into the kind of, he's going into a lot of detail without describing these companies. I think it's more important for you to describe the company.
That's another, okay, that's what I was talking about was the format, okay?
Yeah, I know that too.
The resume's also got some boo-boos in that he really doesn't describe the company. Like he works for this outfit called Zendesk. You've got no idea it's a publicly traded company. He doesn't mention that. He doesn't list the ticker. He doesn't even give a kind of uber blurb of what it does.
Which is important because a lot of people will not have heard of the firm. So you want them to know that it's $1 billion plus revenue firm listed on the New York Stock Exchange, involved in customer service. And here's the other thing I found a little tough you know, you lead under work experience with your nonprofit. I put that at the bottom, not the top. You have to put Zendesk at the top. I would eliminate your internship at Brazil Industries only because the fact that you have 4 jobs and you're applying to business school in your past can raise some issues. So why have 6 by including your internship and your nonprofit?
Yeah. Do you think you could get this resume to 1 page, John?
Oh, easy. You don't, you know, just give one little thing. I mean, under Zendesk, just say you manage a portfolio of 140 clients with revenue of over $4 million. Bang. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not all their other stuff.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah. Zendesk, your current, let me say this, your current job would not be the first place I'd look to save space. That is the most important line on your resume. Your current job.
I mean, in the second one, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different points. And
yeah, we don't need 5 bullets under some job you had for 5 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'd have 1 bullet and let it go.
Yeah. Okay. So good. That horse is now dead. That horse is officially dead. Let's get 355 to Boo Boo, 750 great, Brazil great, Zendesk publicly traded company. You've been successful there. Great.
Mercedes-Benz, good brand. Mercedes.
Man, you got a chance of. It's a lot. Harvard. There's a lot to like here, presented in the correct way. I think your chances of getting an interview at Harvard are, I don't know, 30, 40% versus the index, which is 10, you know, of all the applicants they get, they usually interview 10, 11%. I think your chances of being interviewed are higher than that, like 30 or 40%.
Awesome.
Because you've got a, once you get to it, you've got a lot going for you. And then I think Stanford might go for the Brazil thing. And you're, well, how do you think Stanford would quote unquote grade in their own head this guy's not-for-profit educational career hub focused on helping new graduates?
Yeah, it's a side gig, so I don't think they're gonna, you know, they'll kind of like the fact that he's entrepreneurial on the side, but it won't matter in a big way.
Stanford likes do-gooder organizations that have an impact beyond yourself. This is almost, this do-gooder organization is kind of entwined in your own career. So that makes it less attractive to them. Stanford likes do-gooder. I'm not saying change your gig now. This is just general advice to our listeners. Stanford likes do-gooders that have impact beyond you, that help underserved and people who suffer from adversity. That's the 4-star Stanford do-gooder organization. Okay. I think so Harvard might like this. Stanford, you got a chance. You know, I'm going to say this. You got a chance at Stanford. The Brazil thing is strong, and they might wink. Stanford really count. You know, you'd have to put a gun to their head to get them to admit this. But Stanford puts a lot of weights on your GMAT, more so than the GPA. Is that right? Do you think that's right, John?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Stanford, for all its love and roses, when it gets time to make a decision, they're pretty tight-fisted. And they show me the GMAT, baby. Don't show me the love. Show me the GMAT. Okay, that's the Stanford motto, and you can do it. Wharton would go for this for a lot of reasons, don't you think, John?
Oh yeah, look, the 750 speaks loudly.
But Wharton also Lauder.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna apply to the Lauder program.
Yeah. That would be good. And then Sloan, Columbia, Kellogg. Kellogg would go for this in a native way, simply because you're such a interesting global do-gooder.
Columbia, hey, Columbia's going to like the fact that you were a dance instructor at Vanderbilt. I mean, I want to see you do salsa.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
No, I'll say this again. At places like Columbia and Kellogg, you've got to convince them they're not safety schools. So you have to really make a case why they're your first choice. At Columbia, that's easy to do. You just play the New York angle. At Kellogg, it's a little more difficult. At Kellogg, you've got to say, I visited, well, to the extent
My former boss was from Kellogg.
Yeah, good. You can say my boss has told me how great the school is. I've reached out to Kellogg students. As much of that as you can do. You've got to build that.
Gotcha.
What do you think of the European schools, John, INSEAD and London Business School?
Look, it's 750 goes a long way. You're going to get into.
Say no more. You had me at 750.
Yeah, I mean, look, INSEAD, where the professors have a role in admissions, they really look for high standardized test scores and transcripts of undergraduate experience. So I think you're going to do well with them. You really will.
Okay, so despite your annoying resume, despite the format of your annoying resume, and to some extent, the way you explain things in your resume, the actual DNA, you're a very good-looking applicant. You've just got the wrong makeup and wrong clothing, and all of that can be changed, okay? It's better than not being good looking and wearing the right clothes. They see through that.
All right.
Got a lot going for you.
Good luck to you. I'll see you at the Cafe con Leche. You can teach me a few steps, okay, baby?
Will do, sir.
Good luck to you. And for all of you out there, good luck on your MBA journey. This is John Brennan with Poets and Quants. You've been watching Fridays with Sandy.